All right. First off, just want to say thank you everybody for the support on Patreon. Over the last few days, we've jumped like 500 members, and I don't really know why. I even started restricting my posts to only people who have joined, not like other people. I suspect it has something to do with the quips that they just added to Patreon. I'm not really interested in that, but regardless, I really appreciate your support. I've had a lot of fun reading Patreon comments recently, so thank you. I just want to start this video off with a bit of a disclaimer. Yes, this video might be called positive pornography, but I recognize that not everybody looks at porn as something positive. I recognize that a lot of people who come to this channel probably are dealing with actual porn addictions, most likely obsessive compulsive disorder with a sexual dysfunction. I don't know if that's all the correct terms, but like sexual compulsiveness, right? Where there's persistent unwanted sexual thoughts. That is a real thing, and I'm not trying to minimize that. But I also want to show you how pornography, specifically internet pornography, can actually be a positive force in someone's life. If you ask me, 5 years ago, I would say nope, it's absolutely destructive. Maybe it took a long way to get there, but for me, it has absolutely been a positive force. Pornography wasn't the only thing that spurred on these positive changes for me, like getting a lot more confident, actually going to bars, which I was nervous about before, to talk to people. I've been starting to be more comfortable doing that recently, which is awesome. Actually talking to a lot more women about sexual topics and being comfortable sitting in that platonic area. So I think it's actually been kind of a net gain for me, but might not be for you. We'll talk a lot in the future about how shame and pornography can make pornography negative, but for now, just talking about the positives. I wanted to start this video off with a couple of statistics. You might have seen that old video that I recently re-uploaded to this channel called The Hub's 2023 Year in Review. If you don't know, Pornhub has this Spotify Wrapped that they do every year. It's some of the most entertaining shit you will ever read in your life. I've tried to read it basically every year since then, because it is really eye-opening to the sexual patterns of at least, well, it's actually like global, but specifically America, a lot of it. Now, the statistics have changed this year since introducing the porn bans. Their map of the most off-the-wall terms for each state is like less than half of the states are available data because porn is being banned. Specifically, Pornhub is being taken down or blocked in a lot of these states. It's stupid. I have another video on it if you're interested. Which sucks because that was like my favorite part of the year in review. God, it's hilarious. Maybe I'll do a full video of the full review sometime down the road. Or a reaction. That would be fun too. But I just wanted to read you a few of my favorite ones from just a couple pages. First of all, this year, LGBTQ+ is loud and proud with lesbian as the top category on Pornhub. Terms like lesbian scissoring were up 79%, lesbian MILF grew 129%, and lesbian strap-on were up 62%. And this next statistic is just awesome. The trans category became the second most viewed category of the year. That's pretty insane, considering, I mean, it depends on who you are. A lot of people would say, the trans movement is sort of losing its footing right now. It's between a rock and a hard place, right? A lot of people are pretty transphobic right now, meaning actively blocking trans rights and things like that, you know? So to see the trans category being the second most viewed category of the year is legitimately a good thing. You might say, well, they're just being sexualized. I mean, maybe, but a lot of people most people watch porn in private, including the politicians who are batting this stuff down, which means that secretly, a lot of people are ingraining this into their own fantasies. So it's only a matter of time until this stuff gets pushed forward again. At least that's the way I choose to look at it. Another interesting note, the term femboy, most commonly associated with gay searches. In fact, it was #1 among Pornhub gay viewers. This year actually saw a rise in searches on the straight side as well. So many searches that it actually joined the world, not just America, the world's top 10 search terms for the first time. Cute femboy, up 79%, sexy femboy, up 93%, and femboy hentai, specifically, up 64%. I've seen a lot of discourse around femboy this year. Guess what that means? More searches for femboys, probably a lot more men coming out of the closet, men taking their first step into a wider world of fluid sexuality. Yeah, I have a hard time saying that word. But that's great. That's great. It means more men, like me now, I guess, have kind of taken that first step into at least asking questions, which is really cool to see. Also up is safer work content, which is very weird. The official words from Pornhub on the matter is, it might be counterintuitive to think people come to Pornhub for safer work content, but over the years, it has been impossible to deny its rising popularity. Some of the top gaining categories of 2025: podcast up 327%, gaming up 283%, and music up 62%. Shows users' interest in creators and sexuality goes beyond pornography. It extends into their real lives, humanizing these performers as somebody with hobbies and passions. Now, that's what Pornhub says. And they attribute this, it seems, to just people being interested in porn actors and actresses, not just their sex lives, but also their gaming channels and whatnot. And while they have the data and I don't, I'd argue that it's more so other sites tightening their restrictions on what and you can and cannot show, and age restrictions, pushing more people to use sites like Pornhub rather than YouTube. I'm just saying. I mean, Pornhub is being forced to use age verification in a lot of states, sure. But it's driving people away from these major platforms onto places like Pornhub, which have typically less restrictions. And you can upload safer work content onto Pornhub. I don't know if you knew that, but you literally can do it. I've thought about doing it, probably won't, but it's an interesting note. Now, I promise we're getting to the positive pornography in a minute. This is leading up to something, trust me. This little graph is a visualization of some of the top search terms. As you can see, hentai, still number one. Number one for me too, but it's great that it's that far up there. MILF, always popular. MILF is that one of those ones that really hits all age demographics. A lot of younger people, a lot of younger guys looking for girls with money. Pine, which I remember not knowing what that meant. It means Filipino, I believe. Pornhub's huge in the Philippines. What can I say? So was my channel for a while, which maybe explains why my channel did so well in the Philippines, because a lot of Pornhub traffic over there. Kind of gets lumped together. Lesbian, of course. Anal, big ass. Who doesn't love one of those? Latina, anime, Asian, femboy. Again, femboy making the list. Awesome to see. Now, this last statistic is the most important one in my opinion. The proportion of female visitors worldwide accounts for 38% of all traffic to Pornhub. Over the last decade, our statisticians have been tracing the proportion of female visitors to Pornhub. They have noticed an upward trend over the years, putting into question the dated umbrella statement, "It's only men who watch porn." Now, this is really, really interesting to me. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I wish more women were watching porn or using it as some kind of like, haha, yeah, see, it's not my fault. No. I'm bringing this up because it is important. I myself, I feel like I've noticed an uptick in female presenting, commenters, Patreon members. A lot of young people are feeling sexually frustrated right now, and they're not having sex. It's not just men. It's women too. I bring up the fact that that gap is closing because I want to express to you that porn is everywhere and everybody's watching it, and it's not going away anytime soon. So in order to make pornography positive, you have to consider the fact that if you're dating a woman and you're in a straight relationship, there's a decent chance she's watched porn in the last week. 40% nearly. I mean, that's almost half. So it needs to be said. If pornography is a negative influence in your life, a step to curbing your addiction to it if you feel that you're addicted, because that's subjective, really. The first step to curbing that is to get rid of the shame and not go cold turkey, but kind of realize how you can scale it back or maybe even make it something good in your life. Sounds crazy, but it's something that I've done. And it's something that helped me get over porn. First of all, porn can be used to explore fantasies. I think we all know this. Now, a lot of you might have remembered that I went through a little sexuality questioning a few weeks ago, where I thought that I might be bisexual because I bought a dildo and I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. Even came out to some close friends, which was huge for me. Now, I didn't necessarily use gay porn to explore that fantasy, but it's not that I haven't looked it up a few times, just out of pure curiosity. I would say that pornography in my life has been something to get me to open up to that possibility a little bit. There's a lot of gay furry porn out there. Like, seriously. I interact with a lot of the furry stuff because, candles and everything. And with that territory, you get a lot of gay pornography. And when I save pornography for a reference for drawing later on, I don't discriminate between straight, gay, or whatever. The position is what matters. So I've been exposed to a lot of gay pornography, which I swear I'm going to spin that as a positive. I genuinely think it's been a positive for me. It's subjective, remember. But in my case, I needed to be exposed to that kind of stuff to get me a little more comfortable. Even if I don't end up being truly bisexual or whatever, it got me to look at the whole thing differently. And it got me to look at sexuality as something that can change over time. Doesn't have to be all one thing for your whole life. The second way it can be a positive use. Now, I am not an advocate for AI anything, basically, outside of like truncate audio and Audacity. But AI pornography, I'm just going to say it, isn't the worst idea ever. I mean, it's not the best idea ever, but there is an argument to be made for AI pornography. I mean, I still don't think it's that good at all, most of it. But with AI pornography, much like hentai, there's no abuse. I mean, you could argue that hentai might abuse an artist or a voiceover person, but AI art doesn't abuse anybody. It's just a press of a button. Obviously, there's no real art to that, but AI pornography that's just generated en masse, that removes almost all of the potential abuse that could occur. I mean, AI pornography could allow you to explore even weirder fantasies, or fantasies more outside the normal, or cultural norm, you know what I mean. I'd be interested to do a video, like an update video to my AI in the future of intimacy video, because I feel like a lot has changed over the last year or so. I mean, let me know in the comments, and the comments on Patreon too. What about AI pornography? Do you interact with it at all? Do you see it as a potentially better alternative to certain abusive porn? I mean, if you AI generate pornography that is like consensual non-consent, which is obviously stuff that's much harder to obtain because not a lot of people want to take part in that kind of stuff. Maybe that's an avenue to explore that fantasy safely. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but might be something to look into. And the final thing I wanted to bring up, the culmination of all these statistics and everything we've talked about in this video so far, I had a thought today. And I don't know if there's any weight to it, but I want to know what you guys think. In Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski, again, great book. I don't agree with everything said in it and the way it's said, but I do think it has some genuinely great things in it. Emily goes over a concept. It's the concept of misalignment between straight relationships, between the genders in a straight relationship. Women, especially as they age, have a harder and harder time getting in the mood spontaneously. The spontaneous desire kind of goes away a lot of the time, and it creates this really sticky situation where women don't really feel revved up until they're already in sex. This leads to a lot of women just giving their man sex and not really enjoying it, or not enjoying it as much as they could or want to. And of course, men are wired the opposite way, where they're not constantly, but they're more often to desire it spontaneously. They have less sensitive breaks, basically. And that can be a really big issue for a lot of straight married couples. But if you think about it, a personal pornography collection that the woman has can help with that. And this idea came to me yesterday after I wanted to do some more Rule 34 drawing because I genuinely haven't done it in a couple weeks. I've just been too stressed and too busy. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to rub one out. I haven't done that in a while, ever since I started scheduling it and making it a whole experience. I never just rub one out for the sake of it anymore. But I did yesterday, and I was kind of in a hurry to do it because, again, I had too much to do. And I ended up really kind of leaning into the porn collection that I have, the things that I use for drawing references in my own art. And I was able to get off extremely quickly because I had this extensive, well, okay, not that extensive, I'm not that freaky. I had this pretty large collection of pornography that I'd saved over the years, and it was so dense with things that I find attractive, it was able to get me in the mood in just a couple of minutes. And for me, and for a lot of men, that's kind of unnecessary. We don't need a lot to get there, usually. But for women and female-presenting people, that could actually be really beneficial. If you're someone who's especially aging in your relationship and you find it hard to really get aroused, pornography might genuinely help with that and might help your relationship. There's been a lot of cases of older couples watching porn together to rekindle that spark, and it does work. So I guess that's something to consider, you know? I don't really know what this video was, to be honest. I kind of just wanted to talk about pornography because it's been on the brain lately. There's a lot of really cool statistics out there. I'd actually recommend for anyone to go and read this year in review that they have for 2025 because, I mean, it's not obscene. You don't see anything pornographic on this website. Even though it is technically on Pornhub, it's kind of its own little sub-website. It's really eye-opening to just how expansive the world of pornography really is. Doesn't have to be all negative. It genuinely can be a positive thing for you if you know how to use it right. And if you eliminate the shame behind it, that's the first step. So, yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say today. Again, thank you for the continuing support. I'll level with you. YouTube is down, kind of, a little bit. I've been losing a lot of subscribers. I think we've lost 1,000 in like the last month, ever since I started posting the live talks like this. But you know me, I'm kind of stubborn when it comes to this kind of stuff. The response on the new videos have been amazing. For some reason, we're just losing a lot of subs in general, even though views are pretty up. So, I don't know, this might be just a site-wide decline in YouTube viewership. I'm watching it less and less. I don't know. Maybe it is just me. But otherwise, the Patreon is up, baby. We're up. I don't know. I don't care about the numbers as much anymore. Once I actually have a real life job, I won't give a shit about views or money. It would be nice, but it is definitely not a thing I'm chasing anymore. It's just not worth it, you know? I've had a lot of really personal, intimate conversations on Patreon. And those have meant so much more than just the random rage bait YouTube comment. Nothing against you, strictly YouTube commenters and viewers, but YouTube is just not the site it used to be. And we're starting to put more focus on the Patreon as the hub for my content rather than the main channel. So, if you want to see the main stuff that I'm doing, and if you want to be where the conversation is happening, I guess I'd say, join the Patreon for free. I think some of the chats you have to be a paying member, but not all of them. You do have to be a paying member if you want to message me, though, which is something that I wish wasn't true, but it's just the rule for Patreon for some reason. I'm uploading all of my YouTube videos onto Patreon right now, and they will all be uploaded to Patreon day of in the future. So, hey, if you're wanting to follow my stuff and have a more positive conversation with less rage bait, I would start watching the Patreon instead of YouTube. But that's just me. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Candles. I love you all. Good night.